I did it, guys. I threw out all my self-help books. Okay, I actually didn't throw all of them out. I just donated most of them and kept the ones that I know I'm gonna keep going back to. I read so many of those books. I read like at least 100 of those self-help books that I started to notice these patterns, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Just reading the same thing over and over again in a different font. Like, it's nothing is changing. So I gotta do something different. Reading all these self-help books kind of fed into my passion of yearning for greatness. I don't know what it is, why we just like to yearn so much. Maybe it's that we don't have to put ourselves in the position of vulnerability if we can stay fantasizing about the thing. It makes it easier, I guess, to live the idealized version of who you want to become in your head and not actually become that person. You don't have to go through the difficulty of becoming that person, which is paying the price for it, which is vulnerability, it's failure, it's rejection, it's all of those things. Death by 1,000 cuts. And you don't realize you're bleeding out until you look down and you've been bleeding out for years and you're almost at your wit's end. That's when it's the most painful to yearn, and you wish you would have just gone for the thing from the start. But instead you waited, and now you realize the cost you were paying. So that's why detachment is such a popular topic. It's something that's so necessary to actually attaining the thing that you're looking for. And it seems counterintuitive because you're asking me, Kara, why would I detach from this thing that I want? If I detach, then I won't be moving towards it, right? My thing with detachment is not detachment from the goal. It's detachment from expectation of knowing how the goal is going to come in. Detachment from expectation of receiving the goal. Because if you're so attached to needing the thing, then you're showing your subconscious mind and your identity that the thing is separate from you. And in doing so, you put it on a pendulum. And so long as something is on the pendulum and you're below it, you can't have it. I'm just gonna walk and talk because I feel like it makes my vibe way better. I was sitting down and I just noticed all the people like walking past me, staring at me. And I guess that's part of what I was talking about is like sometimes I'll sit down to make videos and they're just going so fucking poorly. And I'll start worrying and like my focus will shift to what others are like perceiving of me. And I don't know, even right now I'm walking and I'm talking, but I feel like because I'm so occupied with what I'm doing, my mind isn't really going to like spending its extra energy on worrying about what other people are thinking of me. And that's because I have this goal right now of filming this video so I can upload it and like make a point and I guess share, kind of my interpretations of some of the things that I've been reading. But a lot of, like some of that snippet of what I was saying was my interpretation from a book called Reality Transurfing. And it's talking specifically about love and relationships and how love is truly just like, it's the acceptance of another person, unconditional of how they feel to you. It doesn't matter if it's requited or not, because you know you love that person for a certain reason. And that's how you know it's like a true feeling that you have, is that you're not extending a certain level of like closeness or proximity to that person in order to receive something back from them. You're doing it because that feels natural to you and that's what you want to do. And you really don't care how they react to it. You give them the freedom to react how they would react, but you don't really care how they would react because that's not why you're doing it. Now, if you look back at my old videos, I don't know, I started posting about a year ago on YouTube. And when I started posting, I didn't know what to post. Even now, sometimes I don't, but I think I have a clearer idea of what I'm trying to say. It's just that I felt something deep down that I was supposed to be saying something and I didn't know what it was. And I was so worried of just showing up and trying in the first place. It took me ever to start a channel. It took me ever to start finding my voice. And even now that I'm realizing that this whole thing is just a process of me learning how to find my voice. But that I don't really care anymore. I used to be so scared of like, if people I knew found my channel, what they would think of me, what they would say to me, that stopped me from posting. And it wasn't until I reached a point where I like spent way more of my savings than I was really expecting to after I quit my job, just like on my living expenses, and kind of avoiding the thing that I set out to do when I quit my job, which was to create. I didn't, you know? And even when I did, it was for other people. It was, you know, for projects of friends. It was for certain courses that I was taking. It wasn't actually like to execute the visions that I wanted to execute. And maybe this is just part of my journey. Maybe this is me learning what exactly it is that my vision is. I guess I did have to learn to really just let go of what I thought this was supposed to look like in order to just like take the step and be a medium or a channel for like what I'm actually trying to say, because it's not about me. Man, I fucking hate this. It's so embarrassing. Every time I turn the corner and I like look somebody in the eye and then they notice that I'm holding a camera, like it's so embarrassing. But I'm gonna get used to it. But it's like, I told myself that I would make a video, and I am walking to the gym, and this is the time I have today to make a video. And I'm just gonna do it because I don't give a fuck. I mean, I do. That's why I'm doing it, I guess, is to show myself that it's safe to do it, like regardless of the fear, regardless of whether or not you give a fuck. It's so hard when, I don't know, I'm like very sensitive. I'm sensitive to energies. I'm sensitive to how people perceive me. I feel like I can read people really quickly. And it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because it really helps me out in social situations. It's been a great benefactor to me up until this point in my life, or up in this point in my life, in terms of like working in the corporate world and, I don't know, living in a very emotionally unstable home where I guess that was like kind of a response that I developed. But I'm here and I'm living my best life. Who else? Like, how many other people get to just go to the gym in the middle of the day, beat rush hour traffic, you know, have the space to themselves, be able to take long walks in the sun and just think about life and talk about life? It's like the price you pay, I guess. I'm just learning how to like more confidently pay it. Man, maybe getting what you want is a humiliation ritual and you just have to get over it. I feel like the amount of things I've gone through in life and just been humiliated about, I'm surprised I'm still iffy about this. But what do I have to lose? Literally, if I don't do this, I will just go back to the life that I was unhappy about. And if I do this, maybe, just maybe, I can materialize the things that I've been dreaming about my whole life. And so this is what I have to go through to get there. I look so silly. I could do this, I could just film this at home. I don't know. I didn't really want to. They're doing construction at my house right now, and it's so loud and annoying. And when I'm home, I get distracted, and then I'm gonna want to like be productive and, you know, focus on things that are more productive. I feel like there's just this beauty to the spontaneity of it. There's something in me that wants to go after this. And there's something in me that just tells me that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and this is the path I'm supposed to follow, and these are the lessons I'm supposed to be learning right now. But they're not easy. I guess the thing about fear is, like, it's always gonna come up. It's always gonna be there. It's part of being human. You can't not feel fear. It's just, what do you do with that fear? Do you alchemize it? Do you take the fear and tell it, yeah, you know what? I feel fear about this because it's something that I really want. And if I didn't feel fear, it's probably because I don't care that much about it. And then so how do you, when you have the self-awareness to know that you care so much about this thing, what the fuck? Oh my God. I can't. When you care so much about this thing, you have to take it off the pedestal. You have to find a way to reframe it so it's not on the pedestal. Because when it is, that extra space between where you are and where it is on the pedestal, that's where the fear has space to grow. Yeah, I don't know. As I walk, I feel better about this. I don't know if my energy at the beginning of this was so... But I'm feeling better now. I'm glad I did this. Okay, I'm gonna go to the gym. Bye. Alright, so I'm coming back from the gym now, and I had some time to think about all of that and kind of reframe. Because while I was at the gym, there's some exercises that make me feel fucking stupid. Like, I noticed people staring at me, da-da-da-da. I don't know if they were being weird or not. But either way, for me, it's like, they're staring at me and I just want to exist. And again, that's like the price you pay to go after your goal is like, I want a shelf for an ass. So I gotta work at that. And I want my core a little bit tighter, and I just want to look more toned. And so those are goals I have, and that's just a price that I need to pay. And I feel like when I reframe it that way, like even now, man, I just passed some lady staring at me. Smiled. She smiled. Like, it's not that big of a deal and it's not that deep. But it's like actually going through those things, like putting it into action. That's how you take the thing off the pedestal. That's how you close the gap between the pedestal. Because once you've made that pedestal up in your mind, the only way to close it is through action, to show your body, your nervous system that it's okay through action. Like, you're not going to feel ready before you actually go do it. You just got to go do it and sit through it. And, like, you can't expect to be good the first time you try anything. And so, yeah, just accepting that. Maybe that's the price of love, too. It's like you love the thing so much, you're willing to look silly, you're willing to look stupid, and you're not even thinking about that in the moment because you're just like, damn, that it just is what it is. I'm trying to get thumbnail shots.